You know that feeling when your body just doesn't respond the way it used to. Maybe it takes a little longer to feel that rush of energy, or perhaps you've noticed things just aren't quite as strong or as reliable as they once were. And here's what I want you to know. You're not alone in this, and more importantly, there's actually something you can do about it. Well, I'm Dr. Naraya Wolf, urologist and pelvic surgeon, and if you ever face questions or concerns about your urological health, I want you to stay with us. We're here to help you understand your body with clarity and comfort because you deserve to have answers that actually make sense. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that sounds almost too simple to be true. It's about a vitamin that most of us have sitting in our kitchen cabinets, but probably never thought twice about when it comes to circulation and vascular health. And I'm going to show you exactly how this vitamin works in your body, what the science actually says, and how you can use it safely if you choose to explore this option. Let's talk about what's actually going on inside your body when circulation starts to change. And I want to be really clear here. This isn't just about aging, it's about understanding the biological process that affects blood flow over time. Your blood vessels, particularly your arteries, have this incredible inner lining called the endothelium. Think of it like the smooth coating inside a garden hose. When you're younger, this lining is flexible, responsive, and really good at doing its job. But over time, especially with factors like stress, diet, lack of movement, and just the wear and tear of living, this inner lining can start to stiffen. Now here's where it gets interesting from a medical standpoint. Your endothelium produces something called nitric oxide. This is a molecule, a really important one, that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. When you need more blood flow, whether that's during exercise, during intimacy, or just when your body needs to send nutrients somewhere, nitric oxide is what makes that happen. But when oxidative stress builds up in your body, think of it like rust forming inside those pipes, it starts to damage the nitric oxide before it can do its job. The enzyme that makes nitric oxide, which we call endothelial nitric oxide synthase, or eNOS for short, becomes less efficient. Your blood vessels don't respond as quickly, they don't open as wide, and that affects everything from how your hands and feet feel to how your body performs in moments of intimacy. I see patients all the time who think this is just about testosterone or stress or just getting older. And yes, those things play a role, but what we're really talking about here is vascular health, how well your blood vessels can deliver oxygen and nutrients exactly where your body needs them. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. The health of your endothelium affects your blood pressure, your heart health, your energy levels, and yes, your sexual function. It's like the control center for your entire circulatory system. When it's working well, everything flows smoothly. When it's not, you start to notice problems in multiple areas of your life. And this is important. When we talk about circulation issues, especially in men, we often call erectile dysfunction the canary in the coal mine for heart health. What that means is that problems with blood flow down there can actually be an early warning sign of cardiovascular issues. Your body is trying to tell you something. So the question becomes, how do we support this system? How do we help our blood vessels stay flexible, responsive, and healthy? That's where vitamin C comes into the picture in a way you probably haven't heard before. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Vitamin C? That's what we take for colds, right? Well, yes. Vitamin C does support immune function, but its role in vascular health is actually profound, and it's backed by solid research. Let me walk you through exactly how this works, because I think when you understand the biology, it makes a lot more sense. First, vitamin C is essential for building and maintaining collagen. You've probably heard of collagen in terms of skin health, but it's also the structural protein that keeps your blood vessels strong and elastic. Without enough vitamin C, your arteries can become brittle and less able to expand when you need increased blood flow. Think of it like the difference between a new, flexible rubber hose and an old, cracked one. Second, and this is really important, vitamin C directly supports the production of nitric oxide. Remember that molecule I mentioned earlier that tells your blood vessels to open up? Vitamin C helps activate the enzyme eNOS that creates nitric oxide from an amino acid called L-arginine. When your vitamin C levels are low, nitric oxide production drops. When you restore adequate levels, that production can increase again. Third, vitamin C acts as a powerful antioxidant. It protects nitric oxide from being destroyed by free radicals. This is crucial because even if your body is making nitric oxide, if free radicals are destroying it faster than you can use it, you're not getting the benefit. Vitamin C essentially shields nitric oxide so it can do its job longer and more effectively. Now, there have been clinical studies on this. Research has shown that vitamin C supplementation can improve what we call flow-mediated dilation. That's a fancy way of measuring how well your arteries expand after being temporarily restricted. And in some studies, men with compromised vascular health saw measurable improvements in blood flow within just a few hours of taking vitamin C. But here's something that often gets overlooked. It's not just about whether you take vitamin C, but how you take it. And this is where things get practical. When you swallow a tablet or capsule, your digestive system has to break it down first. It sits in your stomach, slowly dissolving. Then your intestines gradually absorb what's left. By the time it reaches your bloodstream, you've lost a significant amount of that potential benefit, and it takes much longer to see any effect. But when you dissolve pure vitamin C powder, specifically ascorbic acid, directly in water and drink it, especially on an empty stomach, absorption happens much faster. We're talking about 30 to 45 minutes for blood levels to rise significantly. That's because the vitamin is already in liquid form, ready to be absorbed through your stomach lining and intestinal wall immediately. This is why timing matters. If you drink vitamin C water on an empty stomach, you're going to get faster, cleaner absorption. Food slows it down. So if you're exploring this approach, the recommendation would be to take it about 30 to 60 minutes before eating. Now let's talk about dosing, because this is where people often get confused. For general health maintenance, 100 to 200 milligrams a day is usually sufficient. But when we're talking about vascular support and circulation, research suggests that doses between 500 and 2,000 milligrams may be more effective. Here's a simple approach. Start with about 1,000 milligrams of pure ascorbic acid powder dissolved in 8 to 16 ounces of water. See how your body responds. If you tolerate it well, no stomach upset, no digestive issues, you can explore slightly higher doses if needed. Why powder specifically? Because pure ascorbic acid powder has no fillers, no binding agents, no unnecessary additives. It's the most bioavailable form there is. Yes, it tastes tart, kind of like unsweetened lemonade, but that's how you know it's pure. Now, some people prefer sodium ascorbate or calcium ascorbate because they're gentler on the stomach, and that's fine, those forms work too. But sodium ascorbate adds sodium, which isn't ideal if you're watching your blood pressure. And calcium ascorbate adds calcium, which can interfere with mineral balance if you're already supplementing with other minerals. The bottom line is this: when vitamin C is used this way, dissolved in water, taken on an empty stomach, in adequate doses, it can support the 3 key pillars of vascular health: structural integrity of blood vessels, nitric oxide production, and antioxidant protection. But vitamin C doesn't work in isolation. Your body's vascular system is complex, and there are other nutrients that work synergistically with vitamin C to amplify these effects. Let me show you what I mean. So we've talked about how vitamin C supports circulation on its own, but what happens when you pair it with other evidence-based nutrients? This is where things can become really powerful. Let's start with L-arginine. This is an amino acid that your body uses as the direct raw material to make nitric oxide. But here's the thing. If the enzyme that converts arginine into nitric oxide isn't working efficiently, taking arginine alone doesn't always help much. That's where vitamin C comes in. It reactivates that enzyme, so when you combine vitamin C with L-arginine, you're essentially providing both the raw material and the spark that makes the conversion happen. A reasonable approach would be about 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C plus 2 to 3 grams of L-arginine, all dissolved in water. Some people take this 60 to 90 minutes before they want to support optimal circulation. But there's another amino acid that I think is even more interesting: L-citrulline. Your body converts citrulline into arginine, but it does it slowly and steadily. That means instead of a quick spike, you get sustained support for nitric oxide production over several hours. Adding 3 to 5 grams of L-citrulline to the mix can provide that extended benefit. Now, let's talk about B vitamins for a moment, specifically B6, B9, folate, and B12. These vitamins help regulate homocysteine levels in your blood. Homocysteine is a compound that, when elevated, can actually damage the lining of your arteries. Most people have never heard of it, but high homocysteine is a silent contributor to vascular problems. B vitamins help keep it in check, which means healthier, more responsive blood vessels. Magnesium is another one that often gets overlooked. Magnesium helps relax smooth muscle tissue, including the smooth muscle in your blood vessel walls. It supports the flexibility and responsiveness of those vessels. A dose of about 100 to 200 milligrams of magnesium citrate can complement the other nutrients we've talked about. And if you really want to create a comprehensive approach, L-carnitine is worth mentioning. It supports cellular energy production and can help with endothelial function. About 1 gram can be a useful addition. So if you were to put together a complete formulation, and I want to emphasize, this is something to discuss with your healthcare provider first, it might look something like this. 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C, ascorbic acid, 3 grams of L-citrulline, 2 to 3 grams of L-arginine, 1 gram of L-carnitine, 100 to 200 milligrams of magnesium citrate, a B-complex supplement providing B6, B9, and B12. You would dissolve all of this in about 16 ounces of water, drink it on an empty stomach, and wait about an hour before eating. Now, what are people reporting when they use something like this? Well, many men notice improved warmth in their hands and feet, better mental clarity, more consistent energy throughout the day, and yes, more reliable responsiveness when it comes to intimacy. But I want to be really clear here. This is not a pharmaceutical approach. This is about supporting your body's natural biochemistry. It's about giving your vascular system the nutrients it needs to function the way it's supposed to. This isn't magic. It's not a quick fix. It's about restoring the natural processes that time, stress, and lifestyle may have diminished. And one more thing. Supplements work best when they're part of a broader approach to health. Let's talk about what that looks like. So now you know the science, you know the nutrients, but here's what really matters. How do you actually integrate this into your life in a way that's sustainable and safe? Let's start with timing. If you're using this approach for general vascular health, I'd recommend taking your vitamin C water first thing in the morning, before breakfast. That's when your stomach is empty, absorption is optimal, and you can set the tone for good circulation throughout the day. If you're looking for more targeted support, say before physical activity or intimate moments, taking it 60 to 90 minutes beforehand allows your blood levels of vitamin C and supporting nutrients to peak right when you want them to. Some people prefer to split their dose, half in the morning, half in the afternoon, or early evening. This keeps nitric oxide levels more consistent throughout the day rather than having one big spike. But here's the thing, what you do outside of supplementation matters just as much, if not more. You can take all the vitamin C in the world, but if you're not supporting your vascular health through lifestyle, you're only getting part of the benefit. Movement is huge. Even light walking after meals can significantly improve endothelial function. You don't have to run marathons, just move regularly. Your blood vessels respond to movement by staying flexible and responsive. Sleep is another big one. Deep restorative sleep is when your body repairs your blood vessels. If you're not sleeping well, you're missing out on this crucial repair process. Hydration, simple, clean water, is one of the easiest ways to support healthy blood flow. When you're dehydrated, your blood gets thicker and circulation becomes harder, and then there's nutrition. Certain foods naturally support nitric oxide production and vascular health. Beetroot juice is rich in dietary nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide. Pomegranate juice provides powerful antioxidants that protect nitric oxide. Nuts like pistachios and walnuts supply natural arginine. Healthy fats from olive oil and avocado support hormone balance, which is tied to vascular health. When you combine these foods with the vitamin C protocol, you're creating a synergistic effect where everything works together. But let me also talk about what to avoid, because there are things that actively destroy nitric oxide. Smoking is the single worst thing for vascular health. It damages your endothelium directly. High sugar intake creates oxidative stress and inflammation. Chronic unmanaged stress keeps your body in a state of tension that restricts blood flow. If you can reduce even one of these, you'll amplify everything else you're doing. And here's a hidden benefit that I think is really important. Vitamin C supports the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and norepinephrine. These affect mood, mental clarity, and confidence. So many men tell me they not only feel physically better, but they feel more mentally sharp and emotionally balanced. This is why I encourage people to think of this as a daily practice, not just a supplement routine. It's about respecting your body, giving it what it needs, and creating habits that support long-term vitality. And that brings me to something crucial: safety. Because when something works, people want to know, can I do this safely for the long term? Let's talk about safety, because I think it's really important to address this head on. Vitamin C is one of the safest, most well-studied nutrients there is. Your body uses what it needs and eliminates the excess through your urine. That's why your urine might turn bright yellow when you take higher doses. It's your body getting rid of what it doesn't need. But that doesn't mean more is always better. The key is finding the dose that works for your body without causing discomfort. Here's how I'd recommend approaching this. Start with 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day, dissolved in water, taken on an empty stomach. See how you feel. If everything feels good, no bloating, no stomach upset, you can gradually increase to 2,000 milligrams if you feel you need more support. Some men divide this into 2 doses, 1,000 milligrams in the morning, 1,000 milligrams in the afternoon. This keeps blood levels more stable. Now, for a small percentage of people, taking too much too quickly can cause loose stools or mild digestive upset. If that happens, it just means your body is saying, that's too much right now. Cut the dose in half and your system will adjust. The general upper limit, where most people start experiencing digestive issues, is around 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams per day. Beyond that, you're not getting additional benefit. You're just flushing it out anyway. There's a common myth I want to address: the idea that vitamin C causes kidney stones. Research from credible institutions, including the National Institutes of Health, shows that normal supplementation, even up to 2 grams daily, does not increase kidney stone risk in healthy individuals. The only exception is if you already have a history of calcium oxalate stones. If that's the case, you can still use vitamin C, just stay on the lower end of the dosing range and make sure you're drinking plenty of water to help your kidneys process everything efficiently. If you're on prescription medications, things like blood thinners, statins, or chemotherapy drugs, it's always wise to check with your doctor before adding any supplements. In most cases, vitamin C won't interfere, but it's better to verify. And I want to be really clear about something. This is not a replacement for medical treatment. If you have diagnosed vascular disease, heart problems, or any serious health condition, you need to work with your healthcare provider. This approach is about supporting your body's natural function, not replacing medical care. The goal here is restoration, not replacement. You're not flooding your system with something foreign. You're helping your body do what it was designed to do: circulate blood efficiently, produce nitric oxide, and maintain flexible, healthy blood vessels. Once you've found your comfortable dose and established a routine, you can maintain this over time. Many men notice subtle changes within the first week or 2, things like better energy, warmer extremities, more consistent responsiveness. By 4 to 6 weeks, those changes often become more pronounced as your vascular system adapts to having consistent support. And because this is a natural approach, there's no crash, no dependency, no withdrawal. You're simply giving your body what it needs to function optimally. So here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Your circulation matters. The health of your blood vessels affects not just your physical performance, but your energy, your mental clarity, your overall sense of vitality. And while aging does bring changes, those changes don't have to define the rest of your life. Vitamin C, when used thoughtfully and in the right way, can support your body's natural ability to maintain healthy blood flow. It's not about chasing some unrealistic standard. It's about understanding your biology and working with it, not against it. You don't need expensive treatments or complicated protocols. Sometimes the most powerful tools are the simplest ones. A vitamin you can dissolve in water, combined with movement, good nutrition, adequate sleep, and a commitment to taking care of yourself. This isn't just about physical function, it's about feeling like yourself again. It's about having the energy to engage fully in your life. It's about not letting biology dictate your confidence or your connection with the people you care about. And if you're feeling uncertain about where to start, remember this. Every positive change begins with a single step. 1 glass of water with vitamin C, 1 walk around the block, 1 night of better sleep. These small actions compound over time into something meaningful. If you found this helpful, I'd love to hear about your experience. Have you noticed changes in your circulation or energy when you've used vitamin C this way? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your experience might be exactly what another person needs to hear. And if there are topics you'd like me to cover in future videos, whether it's about hormones, prostate health, or other aspects of men's health, let me know. I read the comments, and I want to make sure I'm addressing the questions that matter most to you. As always, remember to take care of yourself, because you're worth it.